Emotional safety creates deeper intimacy because it is the invisible foundation upon which trust, love, and connection are built. For a woman, feeling safe in your presence is not about the absence of physical harm. It is about the assurance that she can show you her truest self without fear of judgment, rejection, or betrayal. It is about knowing that her emotions will not be minimized, her vulnerability will not be exploited, and her presence will not be taken for granted. When she feels safe, she can open up in ways that she may never have with anyone else, because emotional safety is the permission slip that allows love to breathe freely. When a woman feels cherished, it is not because of grand declarations or empty promises, but because of the consistency of small, intentional actions that tell her, I see you, I value you, and you are secure with me. It is when she knows that her voice matters, her feelings are valid, and her heart will be handled with care. In such an environment, she is not forced to wear masks or hide behind walls, because your presence reassures her that she doesn't need to be anyone but herself. That kind of safety is rare, and when she experiences it, she treasures it deeply because it speaks louder than any words ever could. Emotional safety allows her to trust that moments of disagreement won't shatter the relationship, that your patience won't vanish when she reveals her insecurities, and that your attention won't disappear when she shares her dreams and fears. A woman who feels emotionally safe will share her inner world. The raw, unpolished thoughts that she guards from others, because she knows you won't dismiss or weaponize them. This kind of intimacy goes beyond physical closeness. It is the connection of souls that can only happen when the heart is free from fear. The truth is, intimacy without safety feels empty. Anyone can hold hands or share a kiss, but when she feels emotionally secure, even silence becomes intimate. Sitting together without words becomes a sacred exchange because she knows your presence is enough. When she feels safe, even her laughter changes. It is freer, lighter, less restrained. She doesn't second guess if she is too much or too little, because she knows you embrace her exactly as she is. That freedom creates a depth of connection that cannot be imitated through physical passion alone. What makes emotional safety powerful is that it isn't created in one grand gesture but in countless small ones. It's in the way you listen without interrupting. It's in the way you remember the little things she mentioned in passing. It's in the steadiness of your tone when she's overwhelmed and the softness of your words when she's vulnerable. These are the moments that whisper to her, you matter. You're safe. I'm here. And when she believes that, she stops guarding her heart so tightly. She lets you in. She allows the walls to fall, and in their place grows trust, devotion, and intimacy unlike anything else. A woman's heart naturally blooms in an environment of safety. Just as a flower cannot thrive in harsh conditions, love cannot flourish where there is fear, unpredictability, or neglect. Safety is the sunlight that nurtures her trust, the water that sustains her openness, and the soil that roots her commitment. When she feels cherished in this way, she doesn't just give back affection. She gives her whole self. She invests her energy, her loyalty, and her love fully because she knows it will be honored. And that is the secret many overlook. When you give her emotional safety, you do not just win her affection, you win her trust. When she feels safe, she doesn't just connect with you in the moment, she builds with you for the future. It is in that safety that deeper intimacy is born, where love matures, and where relationships transform from temporary encounters into lifelong bonds. Vulnerability is strength because it takes far more courage to open yourself fully than it does to hide behind walls of pride or control. When a man allows a woman to truly see him, not just his polished achievements or his confident exterior, but the unfiltered truth of who he is, she feels his heart, not just his presence. That level of openness transforms a relationship from something surface level into something deeply authentic. For a woman, vulnerability is not weakness in a man. It is a sign that he trusts her enough to show her what the rest of the world doesn't get to see. When you open yourself fully, you send a powerful message. You are not afraid of being seen. You are not afraid of her knowing your fears, your insecurities, or the scars that life has given you. Most men are taught to wear armor, to show toughness, to avoid exposing anything that could be perceived as weakness. Yet what truly strengthens a bond is not perfection but truth. A woman feels closest to you when you let down the guardrails and allow her into the parts of your soul that are not neatly packaged. She doesn't fall in love with the mask, she falls in love with the man who dares to take it off. Vulnerability deepens intimacy because it bridges the gap between two hearts. If you only show confidence and composure, she may admire you, but she won't feel you. When you reveal your fears, when you admit your struggles, when you share the moments that tested you, she feels your humanity. And it is in that humanity that her compassion, loyalty, and trust awaken. She doesn't just hear your words, she experiences your soul. Vulnerability gives her the privilege of holding not only your strength, but also your fragility, and that is where true partnership is born. For a woman, vulnerability in a man creates safety in her own vulnerability. When she sees that you are not afraid to share what's inside, she feels permission to do the same. She learns that the relationship is not a stage where both parties perform, but a sanctuary where both can breathe without pretending. Your openness invites her openness, and in that mutual exchange, connection becomes unshakable. This is how intimacy evolves beyond the physical and becomes emotional, spiritual, and enduring. Some believe that showing vulnerability risks rejection or judgment, but the opposite is often true. A woman does not withdraw from vulnerability, she leans closer to it because it is real. She doesn't crave a flawless hero. She craves an honest partner. When you speak your truth without filters, she feels trusted. When you admit that you don't have all the answers, she feels included. When you share your dreams, not just your victories, she feels chosen. And when you let her see the parts of you that you usually hide, she feels needed in a way that no surface-level relationship could ever provide. Vulnerability is also strength because it transforms challenges into opportunities for connection. Instead of shutting down during conflict, opening up about your feelings, your fears, or your needs allows her to see that you are fighting for the relationship, not against her. Instead of pretending everything is fine, admitting that you are struggling tells her that you value truth over appearance. That level of honesty is not weakness, it is the foundation of resilience. A relationship built on vulnerability becomes unshakable because both people know they are loved for who they are, not for the roles they play. A woman feels your presence when you are near, but she feels your heart when you are vulnerable. Presence is temporary, vulnerability leaves a lasting impression. It is what she remembers long after the moment has passed. It is what makes her feel that she knows you, not just the version of you that the world sees. It is what makes her certain that your connection is real, not rehearsed. Vulnerability is the bridge between two souls, and only those brave enough to walk across it discover how strong love can truly become. Trust turns moments into memories because without trust, even the most passionate experiences fade into nothing more than temporary sparks. Passion alone can ignite quickly, but it is trust that keeps the flame alive. True closeness is never built on fleeting intensity, it is built on the reliability that proves again and again that your presence is not temporary, that your promises are not empty, and that your commitment is not conditional. For a woman, trust is not a luxury, it is the foundation upon which love stands. Without it, everything else eventually collapses, no matter how beautiful it looks in the beginning. When a woman trusts you, she feels safe enough to give herself fully. Trust tells her that she can lean into the relationship without fear that you will let her fall. It tells her that your words align with your actions, that what you say is not just a string of sweet sentences, but a reflection of who you are. Trust is reliability in motion. It is consistency that never forces her to wonder if you will show up this time. It is integrity that never makes her question whether you mean what you say. And it is loyalty that makes her believe she is not just an option, but a choice that you reaffirm every single day. Moments are fleeting by nature, but trust gives them weight. A simple conversation turns into a lasting memory when she trusts that your words come from a genuine place. A moment of silence together turns into intimacy when she knows that your presence is steady, not conditional. Even conflicts, when handled with trust, become bonding experiences because she knows that no disagreement is strong enough to destroy the foundation you have built. That is how trust transforms ordinary interactions into extraordinary memories that last. Reliability is what makes love sustainable. Anyone can be passionate in the beginning, but passion without reliability is like fire without wood. It burns brightly but dies quickly. Reliability means she doesn't have to wonder where she stands with you. It means she doesn't have to live in a cycle of doubt or constantly test your affection. She can relax into the relationship, knowing that her heart is not at risk of being carelessly dropped. And when she can relax, when she can fully exhale into the love you give, that is when true closeness happens. Trust is not built in one grand gesture, but in countless small ones. It is in remembering the little details she shares with you. It is in keeping promises, no matter how small they may seem. It is in showing up not only when it's convenient, but especially when it's difficult. These little acts of reliability accumulate into something profound, the certainty that she can depend on you. And when she feels that certainty, she doesn't just give you her affection. She gives you her loyalty, her openness, and her belief in a shared future. The power of trust is that it turns the temporary into the timeless. A night filled with laughter becomes more than just fun. It becomes a story she carries with her because she knows it is built on something solid. A moment of vulnerability becomes unforgettable because she knows it won't be used against her later. Even the simple act of holding her hand feels significant because she knows you're not just holding it for now, but for always. Trust makes love feel like home, not like a hotel. It makes every memory layered with meaning because she knows those moments are not isolated. They are part of a greater journey you are walking together. True closeness can never be achieved through passion alone. Passion excites, but trust sustains. Passion draws two people together, but trust keeps them there when life gets difficult. For a woman, the deepest intimacy comes not from grand promises, but from the lived experience of reliability. When she sees that you are steady, that your love is not easily shaken, that your presence is unwavering, she stops holding back. She invests her heart fully because she knows it is safe in your hands. And when that happens, every shared moment becomes more than just an experience. It becomes a memory etched into the foundation of love. Commitment speaks louder than words because promises without action eventually lose their meaning, but consistent choices reveal where someone's heart truly lies. A woman feels valued not when she is told she matters, but when she sees it reflected in the way she is treated day after day. Words can be sweet, but they can also be empty. Commitment, however, is undeniable because it shows her through actions that she is not just a fleeting part of your life, but an essential piece of your journey. When a woman feels like she is temporary, she holds back. She guards her heart, she questions your intentions, and she wonders if her presence is simply filling a gap in your life until something else comes along. But when you show her commitment, when your choices align with your promises, she stops doubting. She begins to open fully, not because of what you said once, but because of what you continue to prove every single day. Commitment reassures her that she is not disposable, that she is irreplaceable, and that your connection is not something you treat lightly. Commitment is not about grand gestures alone. It is about showing up when it is inconvenient, not just when it is easy. It is about keeping promises even when no one is watching. It is about choosing her not just in moments of passion, but in moments of difficulty, routine, and even conflict. A woman feels essential when she sees that your love does not disappear when things get hard, but instead grows stronger in those moments. That is when she knows she is not a temporary distraction, but a permanent priority. Actions that demonstrate commitment are often simple but deeply meaningful. It is in making time for her even when your schedule is full. It is in remembering the things that matter to her, not because you have to, but because you want to. It is in standing by her side when she is at her weakest, not just when she is at her best. These consistent actions show her that your love is not dependent on circumstances, that she is more than a convenience, and that she has a permanent place in your life. Commitment speaks louder than words because it is visible. She doesn't need to guess how you feel when your behavior shows her clearly. She doesn't need to cling to promises when she has proof through your consistency. Every time you choose her, through patience, through loyalty, through effort, you are telling her without speaking a word that she matters, that she is chosen, and that she is essential. And for a woman, that is what builds the deepest sense of value and love. What makes commitment powerful is that it creates security. A woman who feels secure in your love doesn't waste her energy worrying if you will leave or doubting if she is enough. Instead, she invests her energy into building with you, supporting you, and growing the relationship. She feels free to love without restraint because she knows she is not risking her heart on uncertainty. Commitment gives her the confidence to be fully herself, knowing she will not be abandoned when life gets messy. Many confuse passion with love, but passion fades if it is not supported by commitment. Passion is a fire that burns brightly in the beginning, but without the steady fuel of dedication, it eventually dies. Commitment is what keeps the flame alive through seasons of change. It is what turns attraction into devotion, interest into loyalty, and moments into a lifetime. A woman feels cherished when she realizes she is not just loved for now, but for always. When you show commitment, you give her more than affection. You give her certainty. You give her the ability to dream of a future without fear of it collapsing. You give her the strength to trust you fully because she has seen through your actions that you are not going anywhere. That kind of love is rare, and it is what makes her feel not only valued but essential. Commitment is the language that speaks directly to her heart, louder than any words ever could. Respect elevates desire because desire that is not rooted in respect quickly loses its depth and meaning. Attraction can spark from appearance or chemistry, but it is respect that keeps intimacy alive and flourishing. When a woman feels respected, she does not just feel wanted for her body, she feels valued for her soul, her mind, and her individuality. That kind of validation makes intimacy richer, transforming it from a physical experience into an emotional and spiritual bond. Respect becomes the bridge that turns fleeting passion into lasting connection. Respect is not just about politeness or kind words. It is about recognition. It is the act of seeing her as a complete person, not just as a role she plays in your life. It is in listening when she speaks, valuing her thoughts, and treating her emotions with seriousness. When a woman experiences this, she feels that her presence is more than convenient. It is meaningful. And when she feels meaningful, her desire to connect with you grows stronger because intimacy feels safe, fulfilling, and mutual. Desire without respect may ignite quickly, but it also burns out just as fast. When a woman senses she is only being desired for what she can provide physically, she eventually pulls back because no one wants to feel reduced to a utility. But when respect is the foundation, desire becomes more powerful. She longs for closeness not because she feels objectified, but because she feels honored. She craves intimacy because it is a continuation of the deep value she experiences in every other area of the relationship. Respect elevates intimacy in subtle but impactful ways. It is in how you handle her vulnerabilities, choosing not to mock, dismiss, or exploit them, but to hold them gently. It is in how you celebrate her achievements without insecurity, and how you support her struggles without judgment. These actions create an environment where her trust deepens, and where intimacy is not something forced, but something she naturally gravitates toward. Respect tells her, I see you fully, and I accept you wholly. That message makes closeness irresistible. Honor plays an equally important role. Honor is respect in action. It is the choice to protect her dignity, to speak of her with kindness even when she is not present, to defend her worth even when others might diminish it. A woman who is honored in this way doesn't have to question her value. She knows she is cherished, not just privately, but publicly. That security awakens a deeper form of desire, one that is fueled by gratitude and admiration. She longs for intimacy because she feels proud of the bond she shares, because she feels she is loved with integrity. When respect and honor are present, intimacy flourishes naturally. Physical closeness is no longer a goal to achieve, but an expression of something much greater. It becomes a language of connection, a way to communicate what words cannot. She experiences intimacy as a reflection of the respect she receives in every conversation, every decision, every moment. This is why couples who prioritize respect often find that their desire does not fade over time. It deepens because it is rooted in something unshakable. Respect also allows space for individuality, which paradoxically strengthens closeness. When you honor her independence, her dreams, and her identity, she feels free rather than confined. That freedom makes her choose intimacy rather than feel obligated to give it. Respect removes the pressure and replaces it with genuine longing, because nothing is more attractive than feeling seen, supported, and valued for who you are. Desire that is elevated by respect is not fragile. It does not crumble under the weight of challenges, nor does it vanish when the initial spark fades. It becomes resilient, adapting to different seasons of life, because it is fueled by mutual admiration. For a woman, the knowledge that she is treated with respect and honor keeps her passion alive, not out of duty, but out of genuine joy. It allows intimacy to remain exciting, not because of novelty, but because of the trust and value that make every moment feel profound. Respect elevates desire because it transforms intimacy from something transactional into something sacred. It reminds her that closeness is not about taking but about sharing, not about using but about cherishing. And when she feels respected in every way, her desire to connect with you is not only maintained but continually renewed. Love beyond the physical is where intimacy transforms from a fleeting experience into something lasting and unforgettable. For a woman, what she treasures most is not the act itself, but the meaning behind it. She does not measure closeness by how often you touch her, but by how deeply you make her feel valued, chosen, and safe in your presence. Physical affection may draw her closer, but it is the intention, the sincerity, and the emotional connection woven into those moments that give them true weight. Without meaning, even passion becomes empty. But when love goes beyond the physical, every shared moment becomes a memory etched into her heart. A woman desires more than just presence, she longs to feel significance. If the physical is stripped of emotional depth, she may feel wanted, but not necessarily loved. What she cherishes is knowing that when you hold her, you are not just reaching for her body, but for her soul. When you look into her eyes, she wants to feel seen, not just noticed. When you speak to her, she listens for the authenticity in your words, not just the rhythm of sweet phrases. What makes intimacy meaningful is not the physical act, but the love, care, and truth that stand behind it. Love beyond the physical is revealed in the small gestures that may seem ordinary to others, but carry extraordinary meaning to her. It is in the way you listen without distraction when she shares her thoughts. It is in the way you hold her hand not only in private, but proudly in public. It is in the way you protect her heart from doubt by being consistent, reliable, and honest. These actions build a foundation where physical closeness is not just about desire, but about expression, a reflection of the deeper love that already exists between you. When love is rooted beyond the physical, it creates a space where vulnerability feels safe. She can share her fears without being dismissed, and she can reveal her dreams without being mocked. She can trust that her flaws will not push you away, but instead bring you closer, because they are part of who she truly is. That level of acceptance is what allows her to open her heart fully. Physical passion without this foundation may excite her for a moment, but only emotional depth will anchor her to you in the long term. What makes meaning more powerful than action alone is that it lasts beyond the moment. A kiss that is given with real affection is remembered not just for how it felt, but for the love it carried. A simple hug becomes powerful when it reassures her that she is not alone. Even silence becomes intimate when it is filled with the comfort of knowing she is safe in your presence. Love beyond the physical turns ordinary moments into extraordinary ones because it is not the act itself but the intention behind it that makes them unforgettable. For a woman, the greatest gift in love is to know that she matters beyond utility, beyond convenience, beyond desire. She wants to know that her worth is not defined by what she gives but by who she is. When you prove through your actions and your presence that her value is intrinsic, her love deepens. Physical closeness then becomes a celebration of connection, not a substitute for it. She desires intimacy not out of obligation, but because it is an overflow of the bond she already feels with you. Love beyond the physical also creates resilience in relationships. Passion may ebb and flow with circumstances, but meaning sustains connection through every season. When challenges arise, she will not doubt your love because she has seen it proven through actions far deeper than physical expression. She knows that she is not loved for a moment but for a lifetime. That assurance makes her treasure every shared touch, every embrace, every kiss, because they are symbols of something far greater, the enduring bond that cannot be shaken by time or trials. What she treasures most is not the act itself, but the heart behind it. Love beyond the physical is the reassurance that she is more than a temporary spark, that she is cherished in ways that transcend appearances, and that your connection is not bound by passion alone. It is the meaning that makes her stay, the meaning that makes her trust, and the meaning that makes her love in return with a depth that words will never fully capture.